Samantha from Jessimo Tutorials here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create a cute, easy water droplet pair of earrings from polymer clay. Now, today you are going to need, you're going to need turquoise, butter yellow and white polymer clay. Now the white really is the only important colour that can't be changed. These two you can change however you wish. This is going to be the background of the earring, and I've kind of chosen it because it reminds me of sand. So I'll pop that to the side. And then as for the turquoise, which is the main colour that I have decided, what you're going to do is you're going to start out with the regular piece of clay, and then you're going to create a couple colour recipes, mainly just adding white incrementally to lighten up the colour to create the semblance of a skinner blend. And this goes regular turquoise, 4 pieces of turquoise to 1 piece of white, 1 turquoise to 1 piece of white, 1 turquoise to 4 pieces of white, and then 1 turquoise to 8 pieces of white. And you can change that up however you wish. Then roll them all out onto the thinnest setting you can get on your pasta machine. Alright, and then from there you're going to make your pair of earrings. And for that you're going to want a set of cutters that kind of gradually goes down in size. I've decided to go with these little water droplet cutters, and then you're going to want whatever your earring piece is going to be. So this is the earring piece, so that's why I ultimately want to end up being with. And then I only want 4 of these, so I'm going to remove the smallest one, and these are the sizes that I am going to work with. So I just pop those over there, and I'm going to start with the largest one, and I'm going to cut out 2 pieces from the lightest colour, and then just lift that up and just gently tap around the edges to make sure that it is completely clean. And then you're going to lay that down onto your clay, and then you'll repeat with the other one to create your other earring size, and just make sure that they're far enough away from each other that you're not going to end up with this overlapping. Then you're going to grab a piece of paper and just give this a burnish to flatten that shape down into your background colour. And this is why I was saying to roll it out as thin as you can, because the thinner the clay is, the easier it is to kind of burnish it into place. And this is going to distort the shape a little bit, but I think that that looks quite nice. If you didn't want it to distort, what you can do is you could actually make sure that the pieces of clay that you're working with here, the ones that I'm cutting out here, are the same size as your background clay. And then what you could do is you could cut out from the background clay and then slot these little teardrop shapes into there, and that could work as well. But I quite like this. And then you're just going to repeat this process of cutting out the teardrops, going down in size each time, and then laying them down onto the middle of the previous shape and burnishing. Alright, and I'm on the last colour. I did actually end up needing the smallest cutter size, but you can see there how it's creating kind of a skinner blend effect, which is quite cool. And of course you could use any colours that you want, but I thought I'd go with this because it's a nice little water droplet effect. But yeah, it's really nice and simple. And there we go. That's how it should look. Nice and simple and quite effective. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a cutter that I think works. It's just a little bit larger than the pieces that I've got over here. And I'm just going to make sure to center that. And then cut out my piece. And there we go. Then you're going to do the same for the other one. Just try to center it as best you can. It doesn't really matter too much if it's perfectly centered, because it is going to be a little off because of the burnishing. It's not going to be perfect. So let me just check that. And cut. There we go. Alright, and there we go. Then I will just peel that away, and then you can pop that straight back in. You don't end up with any waste. And don't they look cute? I'll just turn them around actually so that you can see how they look. Quite nice. And then from here, what I want to do personally is I want to just grab a little ball tool, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a texture. Just a little bit around the sandy parts, so that I kind of highlight the drop shape a little bit, and also just so that it distorts the edge of this raindrop shape just a touch. It won't distort it a huge amount, but it will just kind of pair it in a little bit with the kind of warping of the raindrop shape. And feel free to skip the step if you want, but I think it looks nice. And there we go. Nice and simple. Hopefully the camera's picking that up well. I'm going to pop this to the side as that is pretty much done. It just needs to go into the oven, and I am going to make a little piece to go with it. And for that I'm going to be using this little shell mold, this one in particular right here, because I feel like those would look very nice with a little seashell to go with them. If you have a little seashell bead, you could use that as well. But I'm just going to grab a little bit of this butter yellow and a little bit of this blue. Let's see, I think I'll go with the middle blue here. And I'll just make sure that I collect about as much as the butter yellow that I have, because I want to create a little bit of a marble. Okay, and then you'll just take those two pieces, roll them into cylinders, pop them together, and just give them a squish and a twirl to kind of start to marble those together. And I feel like this might be a nice technique to try. Exact same shape but without the kind of skinner blend effect when try to imitate a peacock feather. I just kind of looked at the pieces that I made a second ago and they kind of remind me of peacock feathers. So I might try that in the future. Let me know what you think in the comments below if you would like to see that. But there we go, I'm just going to marble that a couple of times. And I think one more should work. I don't want to over marble it, but I don't want it to be too disruptive from the shape of the mold. Right, let me bring this over, and I should only need about half of this. And I'm just going to squish that together and roll it into a little ball, and then just press that into place. And hopefully I have enough clay here. Okay, and I can check from the back. Yes, I've got enough clay, that's good. And I'm going to unmold this. If you happen to have any trouble unmolding it, you could always pop it in the freezer, or even you could also bake it in the mold as well. The molds are perfectly oven safe, at least at Primo's temperature. And I'm just texturing the back because I want this to look nice for the back of the earring as well. There we go. And then just gently push that up and out of the mold. And there you've got yourself a little seashell. Alright, and there we go. This is now going to go into the oven for about 40 minutes at Primo's recommended temperature. And then when I assemble it, this is how it's going to look. And actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if these would look better as studs. Hold on, let me do that quickly. And that should be pretty easy to do. You're just going to grab your piece, and you can always just pop it straight back in here, or better yet, do it before unmolding it. I just was looking at it and decided that it would look better like that. But yeah, I do apologise if I'm a little scatterbrained today. It is 40 degrees in Perth at the moment and it's really quite hot, so it's I do apologise if I'm a little all over the place. But I did just feel like making a beach themed project today, and I think this is nice. It reminds me of the beach. But there, you'll just press the stud down into the clay, and then you're just going to use your ball tool and just squish that clay over the edge like so, to kind of cover that up, and then go around and add your texture back in. And then you'd unmold it, and then you can pop that into the oven to bake. Okay, and that shouldn't take too long to do. And there we go. Now you don't have to use glue to attach the stud or anything. It is going to be permanently fixed into that piece. And then just take it out. And there we go. And then to bake them, I would advise grabbing something like a little bowl of cornstarch and just popping your pieces down there so that they can sit kind of flat. I just will embed it with the stud side in the cornstarch. And there we go. They'll bake like that, and that's how I keep them nice and unsquished while baking. Right, and here we go. Now I am ready to start assembling, and if you want you can give these a quick sand around the edges. They're generally pretty clean, and I want to keep the matte finish, so I'm not going to worry about varnishing them. They don't even need to be varnished because they are made completely from polymer clay, so there's no need to seal anything in. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill it so that these two can sit together like so. So you're just going to grab a little pin drill, and I use a little handheld one. You can use a motorized one as well if you want. I just prefer the handheld one, makes less noise and I feel like I have more control over it. And there we go, nice, quick and easy. And then the other one is a little more tricky, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I am going to be using a manual one for this, because I'm going to hold this in my hand and I'm going to go in from the back side of the piece, and you've got to kind of get yourself a little bit of a foothold with the drill first, and then you can just drill a hole. And when you're doing this, let the drill do the work. Don't push down too hard on it, because it will go through quite quickly and your finger will most likely be there, so I don't want to be pushing down hard and prick myself. So you just spin the drill, and you should be able to feel the pressure on the other side as it comes through. So just give me one moment. It should come through in a moment. There we go, I can feel it coming through. I'll move my finger out of the way and then just very gently drill through. And there we go. That's how I would drill a little hole in a piece that's a little bit more complex to drill like this. And of course, if you do plan on using a power drill, keep your fingers right out of the way of that. Alright, then I'm just going to grab a jump ring. The assembly process is pretty nice and quick because we've already got the earring situated in the piece. So you're just going to grab that jump ring, and you're going to use that to attach both your pieces together. There we go. And then just close up your jump ring, and there we go. And I have already done the other one, and that's how it looks right there. And yeah, that is just about it. A nice simple project that I think looks quite effective. It's simple and a great beginner's project, but I think the effect is fun for anybody to try out. So let me know what you thought in the comments below. Feel free to play around with different shapes, as the kind of faux skinner blend effect is quite nice in different shapes. A heart could be quite cool as well. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you liked the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And if you'd like to support the channel so I can continue creating videos just like this one, please do consider becoming a member. There's a join button just below this video where there's a join button just below this video where you can become a member of the channel. I post exclusive videos on there that are not available for free on YouTube. And another way to support the channel is to check out my Etsy store, where I sell things such as the mold and the cutters that I used in today's video. And those are just great ways to support the channel, and I'll greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that is just about it. I do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.